Hello, everyone. I came on here with not so much a message, but a word of encouragement for people who are struggling to come to a decision whether or not they are worthy of accomplishing whatever goal that they have in mind. So I thought about it a lot. I ponder on this actually before I came here. I was like, is this a good idea to come in and telling my story? But I realized even if it touches one person, then I've accomplished my goal. So I say this to say that I am here to tell my story about my journey of nursing school. Recently, approximately 2 months ago, well, 2 months ago, I graduated nursing school, and shortly after that, I took my board exam, which I passed, and I'm very happy. But this is a journey in the making, and the journey was not easy, and it absolutely did not follow what I would say everyone else's straight path. Um, when I first went to college, I wanted to be a nurse. So when the first day I showed up to the university, it was almost like a culture shock. It was big. I was pretty much like, oh my God, how am I going to survive in this place? So anyway, long story short, I went on and decided to go to the community college, and I took all my science courses there, and then right after that got my associate, and after that I decided to go into social work because I love to help other people and also to empower them in the process of helping. So I went on and became a social worker, graduated with my bachelor's. So 7 years later, I was like, you know what? I want to go back to grad school. But it never left me that I wanted to be a registered nurse. So I was like, oh, you know what? I still want to go back to school and become a nurse. And quite frankly, it is not all about money because I'm the type of person I believe if you're doing something that you're passionate enough about, money will follow. So anyway, I went on and I was like, I want to go back to grad school. So during the process of searching for a graduate program that I wanted to attend, primarily I wanted to be a mental health therapist. So I was like, you know what? And I come up on a program where they have for graduates who already has a bachelor's if they want to be nurses, and of course you have to have your all your prereqs by then, which I did. So I applied to the program, got in. Again, I got into the program, had another culture shock. My first semester, I took pathophysiology, and I was like, Jesus Christ, come now. The amount of lessons that I have to study, and almost every 2 weeks we had a test. And I remember when I took my first test, I was like, oh my God, I could do better because I'm always trying to find ways where I could be better. Not to compete with anyone, but to show myself how resilient I could be. So anyway, I went on and I took the first class. Actually, that semester I had 3 classes. And I was like, oh my God. But I wouldn't stop. I would go to the library and I will sit there and study my butt off. And sometimes I was there between 6 to 7 hours, in which to me, now looking back, I'm like, oh, that's kind of crazy, because I feel like after 3 or 4 hours, my brain is like, please rescue me. I can't take anymore. But anyway, I went on first semester, did really well, and went on to the second semester, because the program is 6 semester, which is about 2 years. And then went to the second one, and then went to the third one, and then went to the fourth one, and then fifth and sixth. Wow. So I didn't think I was going to survive semester one, but I did. And mind you, I'm a mother of 3 girls. At the time, I had a 10-month-old, a 2.5-year-old, and back then a 16-year-old, 15, almost 16. So my hands were full. So, but throughout the process, I never neglected my children. And of course, I had the help of my husband, being by my side, and my mother also, assisted me with the kids. But I had to be the one to have the drive to keep pushing. Regardless of the assistance that I had around me, I had to keep telling myself that, look, you got this. You've been on this journey long enough, and now you have acquired enough knowledge, enough wisdom, and enough courage to make this happen. So anyways, fast forward. I graduated, and then again, another anxiety kicked in where, oh shoot, I gotta go take NCLEX. Now this is the real thing. Nursing school is one aspect of it, but the second major aspect is taking the NCLEX, which I'm sure, a lot of you probably hear that the test is hard, it's this, is that, but I will speak about that in another video. But I went on, I woke up one morning, I didn't even tell my husband that I was gonna go take my NCLEX. I signed up and registered for the test, and throughout the whole time, I took about 8 weeks. I reviewed and you kept reviewing and using different, things, and just tying up loose ends that I feel like would help me by the time I get to the test. So I went on and took my test. Again, I left the testing center. I was so anxious, came home, found out later, 2 days later, that I passed my NCLEX, and I am officially a registered nurse right now. And I came in here to tell this story, not to highlight myself or for personal gain, but more so to encourage someone, whether you're a mom of multiples, or you're a young woman who's trying to figure your way out, or you're a young man who has, no kind of direction, and you basically left to figure it out on your own. I'm just here to let you know I am the perfect example where I can say it's all about what you tell yourself about yourself. And I had to learn to tell myself that I am more than capable. I'm able to do things that I couldn't even imagine that I was able to do. And so I spend time learning to know myself throughout the process as well, because that's very important. You have to know about you before you can decide to do anything. So I went on. I was like, you know what? I have to tell this story, because I'm sure there are people who figure that they've wanted something long enough, it'll never happen, or they have been told that they cannot. And I always tell people it's a huge mistake to allow people to tell you what you can and cannot do, because you the master of your own mind, and whatever you tell yourself about yourself, that's what it will be. And so Um, Today I can look back and say, I don't regret that it took me all this time or, to get here. I am proud that I have a story to tell. Because sometimes we all want things speedily, we want things smooth, but in reality, life does not work that way for everyone. Some of us will fall, and some of us will fall and get back up, and some of us will fall for a while and lay there until we find someone that say, hey, get up, you got this. And I had people like that around me as well. And I made sure, I have to say this, that I surrounded myself with people who can pour into me, telling me and reminding me. Not only they were telling me, because I've already told myself that, hey, you can do this, but they were reminding me that, look, you got this. And if you need someone to lean on or someone you can talk to, I'm here. And I had, I had some friends like that. So your circle is also important because I've heard once someone said, be careful who's in your ears, because the ears are the gate to your mind, and so are your eyes. But so my thing is, you have to surround yourself with people that tell you you are a big deal, and you could do anything that you put your mind into, and so in my case, I wouldn't take anything back from my story. I am proud of it. I stand up tall, and I'll tell it anywhere and everywhere, because you never know who you can reach out with your story. And this is like, I don't even consider it that this was made for me, but it was made for me to tell someone that, look, get up. You got this. Come on, let's go. Regardless of your background, regardless of what you've been told about yourself, and regardless how you feel. Because what we feel are always, if anything in my mind, what we feel is not so. Those are feelings. They can go away. But the long-term commitment that you make to yourself, to tell yourself that you are worthy, you are more than capable, and you surround yourself with good people that constantly remind you of that, can get you very far. And I'm here to tell you, you can do it. And don't you ever allow anyone to tell you that you cannot, because that's not true. And my story been in the making. Oh my God, you talking about I've been trying to do this over 2 decades, and here I am telling you, it is never too late. And remember, surround yourself with people that will elevate you and not remind you of your past, not remind you who you used to be, or who you're not, or who you won't be. But people who are able to come and meet you where you are. Because I always tell people, I meet people where they are, rather than trying to take them back to the past, or trying to tell them what they could have been or should have been. Because we all have our journey. And we all have part of our journey that we're not so proud of. But guess what? Those moments that you are not proud of, those are the moments that you can use to inspire yourself and inspire others. Because at the end of the day, there is no straight path in anything. There's a path that is unique to your story, to your life. And to me, that's most important than looking at what John Doe's doing on this side or what Billie Jean is doing on the other side. It's none of your concern. That's another thing to keep in mind too. What everybody else has going is none of your concern. It's what you have going that has to do with your success, with your well-being, and with the places that you want to go. So I encourage anyone who ever felt that they've been knocked down, or they've been told they cannot, or they've ever felt themselves that they can't accomplish things, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And yes, you will. Not only you can, but you will. But you have to start telling yourself that I love me, I appreciate me, I'm more than capable, I see myself in a bright light, and I see myself in a better light than than others may see me. And at the end of the day, this is my life, and I am in charge, and whatever I say will be done will be done. That's all I have to say. And so that's my story. And I'm more than happy to share. But anyway, I will be sharing my NCLEX journey, and how I went about it. And also I will be talking about another video with parenting, and how you can, while you're trying to get yourself to get to the places that you want to go in life, being a parent is not what I call is not a block to where you're trying to go. If anything, being a parent inspired me to do better, to do more, and to go places that I never imagined that I would be because of fear and doubt. Do not doubt yourself. You can do more than you can imagine. And yes, fear is going to come, but you have to remind yourself that I can keep this. It has to go. Because if I stay fearful and I'm forever doubting myself, where do I go? And I'm going to, basically, once you start feeling that way, people around you are going to feel the same way about you. And there you have it. So, do yourself a favor. Remind yourself how wonderful you are and how you can and will make things happen. And don't forget to ever be yourself, because it starts with the self. That's all I have to say.